high's the water, mama? 2 feet high and rising. How high's the water, papa? She says it's 2 feet high and rising. Well, we can make it to the road in a homemade boat, 'cause that's the only thing we got left that'll float. It's already over all the wheat and oats, and it's 2 feet high and rising. How high's the water, mama? It's 3 feet high and rising. How high's the water, papa? She says it's 3 feet high and rising. Well, yes, it looks grim, but we're prepared. Unfold our solace and we'll be spared. Float along and don't be scared. Well, it's 3 feet high and rising.
Everybody give a warm S009 welcome to the Pink Team.
Sandy, Harvey, Katrina. Storms that were supposed to be seen only once in a lifetime are becoming increasingly frequent. With them come powerful winds and devastating flooding. Even after the storms have passed and the winds have settled, the water levels continue to rise as ocean water makes its way inland. As water begins to fill homes and apartments, families inside become more and more worried. These are the families who cannot escape the storm. Families who cannot evacuate to a hotel 100 miles away. Parents who worry that their possessions and keepsakes will be stolen if they leave. And others who have heeded the warnings of storms past only for no real danger to actually arise. But this time, they need a way out. These families desperately inflate unstable air mattresses and flimsy kiddie pools so that they can drag their young children and elderly relatives to safety. These people who put their lives on the line so that those they care about can continue to live out their own. For those who do not simply have the luxury to leave on the eve of a storm, we are proud to present Solace, a foldable life raft with the goal of providing a stable and durable way to get to safety and await recovery by search and rescue teams. This is Alex and Varsha. They're here today to give us a run-through of a typical scenario of the use case of our product. Alex goes to his garage to retrieve his Solace. Using the conveniently located shoulder strap, he is able to lift the 40-pound Solace and bring it over to a table for assembly. The weight of Solace is approximately equal to that of a typical fully packed airline suitcase. As he places it on the table, Alex begins to undo the buckles on the strap so that he can access Solace. He begins the simple unfolding pattern by opening up the raft and then adding the supports on the bulkheads, which can be attached with Velcro. We've added instructions on the side of Solace to make it more intuitive for a first-time user to understand the assembly method. Complete assembly can be completed within 20 seconds, which is less than the time it takes to wash your hands. Now that Solace has been fully assembled, Alex and Varsha can store their personal belongings in the compartments on either end of the boat. Now, they can use the handles, also located on the front and back of the boat, to lift Solace and put it into the water. To help Varsha get into the raft, we've lined the inside of the base with a non-slip material, which allows for easy boarding for anyone. One of the handles has additional slack to allow someone to pull. They can then navigate the raft through floodwaters or through a flooded house and out the door. After finding a safe place to tether it, such as a tree or a lamppost, Alex then tethers it and proceeds to climb into Solace along with Varsha. Note the reflective tape along the top of the raft, which can be useful when looking for it in storage and for increasing visibility to search and rescue teams. Additionally, there's a foldable baler inside of the raft, which can be used to eliminate any water that makes its way into the raft. Now, let's find out more about why some of these decisions were made. Hannah?
Thanks, Zion. We made Solace storable, simple, and strong. Solace spends most of its lifetime in storage, so it needs to be sized accordingly. In the folded down state, our dimensions are 4 by 2.5 feet with a 2-inch thickness, making Solace easy to keep in a closet, on a shelf, or hanging on a wall. In stressful emergency situations, we know our users must act quickly. So in Solace, simplicity is key. Inflatable rafts, for example, often require time-consuming manual inflation or pumps with electricity, which hurricane victims usually lack in post-storm power outages. So with Solace, we developed a simple unfolding process with few steps and graphic instructions which help us keep our assembly time under 20 seconds. Once Solace is unfolded and on the water, it must be strong. The outer layer of Solace is PVC fabric for waterproofing and abrasion resistance, and the inner structure is HDPE, a common plastic found in products such as kayaks. We went with hard plastic over the inflatable alternative because inflatables have a limited shelf life and are prone to rupture in debris-filled floodwaters. HDPE is strong but lightweight, which makes Solace a total of 40 pounds and still have a capacity of up to 350 pounds. For added stiffness, we included fold-up bulkheads that secure the front and the back of the raft. These bulkheads are attached with waterproof Velcro straps. And then for stability, we selected a rectangular hull shape to prevent tipping. Solace can handle a point force up to 220 pounds near the edge of the raft before taking in water, which means users can easily step in and out. Our sleek design fits 1 to 2 people and can even maneuver through tight spaces like doorways. And users can purchase additional Solaces and link them together using the carabiners located on the front and back of the raft. So Solace can be a fit for any size family. Now, Arnav will share how we plan to get Solace into the homes of our users.
What drove us to create Solace was a passion to help people. Solace will initially be sold to retailers, such as Walmart and Target, which are found throughout the United States. And they sell emergency and safety equipment during hurricane and flood seasons. After factoring in production costs and markups, we estimate that end users will be able to buy Solace at only $150. We hope to sell 100,000 units in the first year, with significant room for growth. Climate scientists believe that there are 41 million people in the United States that live in flood-prone areas. And due to climate change, this number is expected to increase by 50% by 2050. Globally, the number of people that live in flood-prone areas is expected to double. We anticipate that the need for a product like Solace will continue to increase in upcoming years around the country and around the globe. We envision a world where Solace helps people feel safe, stay secure, and have hope now and for years to come. Thank you.
We're back live in Kindtopia Court. Thanks, Pink Team. What a swimmingly good job. Your flototype, Solace, was a pleasure. Craft with such love. You know, I have a sinking feeling these puns are pretty boat. Okay, Pink, please bail me out. Let's fold this up and start the Q&A. Tim from Massachusetts asks, how does one assemble Solace if the entire floor is already flooded and there are no tables?
Hi, everyone. My name is Zion. I'll be acting as the Q&A moderator for Pink Team. That's an excellent question. Thank you so much for asking. Barsha, I'm going to pass this one off to you.
Hi, thank you, Zion. That's a great question. So it is possible to unfold and deploy Solace on water. We have tested it out before, and even though it's just marginally more difficult, it's still possible in that type of scenario. So a table might be helpful, but it's not 100% necessary.
Thank you. Lee from Texas. What sort of damage can this raft withstand?
Thanks for the question, Lee. I'm going to pass this one off to Kaylee.
Thanks. That's a great question. So we actually puncture tested the PVC coated fabric, and we found it was extremely strong. And so when you combine that with the super hard HDPE, we believe it is extremely puncture resistant.
Thank you. Abdelrahim in Virginia. Why did you decide not to include a paddle so that in case one was stuck somewhere in deep water, you could move?
A fascinating question that we've talked about a lot. Thank you so much for asking. Megan, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, thanks, Zion. So we had talked about the scope of our project and all the different safety devices we could also include with it. For this current iteration, there's not a paddle, though we've talked about being able to store a paddle nearby. But for now, the main use case is being able to drag your loved ones in Solace or tie off, and less of the paddling.
Thank you. Lenny from Columbia asks, how did you come up with the instructions on the side of Solace? They remind me of airplane cards. Very nice.
A very astute observation. Hannah, would you like to take this one?
Yeah. So we actually consulted with a few industrial designers and talked about different design considerations for things like instructions, which is why we made them very graphic and easy to understand. So the idea is that even if you were stressed and didn't have time to carefully read instructions, you would be able to follow along using pictures that resemble the actual product very easily.
Thank you. Now, Emily in Massachusetts. Where would Solace best be stored in the home so it can be accessed easily?
Another excellent question. Thank you, Emily. Arnav, would you like to take this one?
Certainly. That's a great question. We envision that Solace will be usually placed next to other hurricane and safety equipment. In our use case in the presentation, we assumed it was a garage, but we anticipate that Solace can be put in a closet or wherever an individual puts their hurricane and safety equipment.
Thank you very much. Jose asks, how did you guys arrive at the weight limit of 350 pounds?
Thank you for the question, Jose. Courtney, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So our maximum capacities are 2 people and 350 pounds total. So our intent was we wanted to make sure Solace could hold 1 adult and 1 child. Ideally, it could hold 2 adults if they were under that weight capacity. And we did a lot of testing to ensure that we could, in fact, hold this weight capacity.
Thank you, Pink. Surf's up. We need to drift along, smooth sailing, and see you again soon.